Gary, thanks very much for joining us on the first day of All-Energy. How's the day been for you so far?
Yeah, having a great time. It's really great to be here. So this morning we were hearing from speakers, Kate Forbes, Keith at Aspen. So yeah, it's a really good atmosphere. It's great to be here.
Excellent. Certainly I feel it's a bit busier than it was last year, which is great to see. So what are the main kind of messages that are coming out of, firstly, the kind of conference side, and why SSE are here today?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So Kate Forbes this morning was speaking about the importance of bringing communities with us on this journey. There's a lot of news around at the moment, anti-net zero and this sort of thing. But it's clear that we've got a big job to do, but if communities don't come with us, then that job's going to be much harder. So being able to share benefits with communities is really important for all of us here today.
I suppose my next question is quite simply, how are you doing that? How are you getting those communities to buy into what you're trying to achieve?
Yep, that's a good question. So we're investing £22 billion in transmission infrastructure over the coming years, and clearly there are going to be a lot of benefits to communities associated with that. For example, we will be working with our main contractors to maximise the local spend, local supply chain, so that will mean more jobs for local people. There's a great example in our Peterhead project, Eastern Green Link 2, where a local contractor, Davey Smith, has won a multi-million-pound contract, and he was able to employ 9 new people as a result of that. So supply chain is really important. We're also working with our contractors on social value plans. So this is things around skills development, working with schools, volunteering, doing things that will make a difference to the communities. And finally, I would say we're very aware that the impact it will have on communities. So we're looking at options around housing. How can we support some of the housing issues that face these local communities?
So I just wanted to stop you there on that, because that seems to be one of the main issues that we're seeing all over the news of the infrastructure that's being implemented all over the country in Scotland is clearly having an impact on people's living standards, whether they can sell their house, and being very disruptive in the countryside. So yeah, what are you doing to help those communities in that area?
I mean, Scotland faces a housing emergency, so there's a real problem, particularly in some of the rural areas where we work. We're going to be having workers in the area, so if we can come up with solutions where we're either building or contributing to new affordable housing, then it's a win-win for both situations, for both parties. And we are actively speaking to local authorities across the country to come up with solutions. We've employed a dedicated housing team to come up with those solutions, and we'll have some progress on that very soon.
So you're offering to potentially build new houses, affordable houses for some of these individuals?
That's one of the solutions being considered. I mean, we're not a house builder, but if we need to house workers for 3-4 years, then it's beneficial if those workers can have permanent housing that will then benefit the community in the future.
Okay, and I suppose that leads us nicely onto the Community Benefit Fund, which is another initiative that SSE have been championing. If you just kind of elaborate on what that is and what that means to the benefactors, please.
Yeah, in March the UK government issued guidance on community benefit funding for transmission operators, so we will be following that guidance. There are amounts of funding that's dedicated to community funding based on each project. So we will be speaking to communities, we'll be finding out what's important in their area, and we think that the value of this fund will be worth well over £100 million over the coming years. So a real opportunity to support communities with their ambitions and their projects to benefit everyone.
So what would be some likely examples of what that money might be spent on?
We've actually started our fund early because we knew this was coming, and Transmission made a commitment to start this fund. So recently we awarded 10 large regional projects funding. That included the University of Highlands and Islands. We are contributing to a sustainable construction centre, which will give people the skills they need for this type of work. It won't just benefit our company, it will benefit the whole industry. We also funded a really exciting program, again based in the Highlands, where young people who are disaffected at school become mentors to nursery children, and it helps build their self-esteem, helps them to focus on what they really want from life. And it's been really successful. So it's a real range of projects that we'll fund. It's not us making the decisions, it's an independent panel that we use. And that panel is looking for impact, and they're looking for things that will leave a legacy for future generations.
Interesting. And final question, I suppose, is around the employment side, because clearly that's all over the headlines at the moment of what's happening in the oil and gas industry. There's obviously a lot of talk about opportunities in this renewable sector and the offshore wind sector in particular. There seems to be a bit of a disconnect there in terms of we're hearing from these oil and gas workers that the jobs certainly aren't manifesting themselves at the speed that they're required. What is your thoughts on that and feedback as to what SSE are doing?
Yeah, from a transmission point of view, these projects do take time. So we're talking now about the skills we need, but they aren't necessarily available as jobs yet. But that will definitely be coming. We do workforce planning with our contractors, and we can see that there will be thousands and thousands of jobs from the work that we're doing from our £22 billion investment. Also, SSEN Transmission, we're expanding ourselves. We've grown massively over the last few years. I work in the Aberdeen office, and I know that colleagues who have come from oil and gas and transferred across as project managers and are doing great work now in the renewable sector. So I also know that this year we're recruiting 600 people. So certainly SSEN Transmission is growing, and there are real jobs available. There's jobs on our website now. But also we know our workforce through our main contractors, there'll be significant jobs created through that work.
Fantastic to hear. So thank you very much for your honesty. Actually, you're one of the examples of someone who's transgressed from oil and gas into the renewable sector. So you're not just saying that as as an empty promise. Thank you so much for taking some time out to speak to us, and good luck with the rest of the show.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Dan.